The finale trailer didn't scream answers, it whispered secrets. One look, one pause, one sound that didn't belong, and suddenly the past felt closer than ever. This trailer wasn't made to explain the ending. It was made to distract you from what's really coming. The first thing that stands out in the finale trailer is how careful everything feels. Not loud, not flashy, just controlled. The cuts are slower than usual. The music fades in and out instead of hitting hard, and the camera keeps lingering on faces instead of action. That is never an accident. When a trailer wants to sell chaos, it shows chaos. When it wants to hide something, it shows reactions. Every major moment in this trailer feels like it stops right before the truth appears. We see tension build, but we rarely see the result. Guns are raised, but shots are avoided. Conversations start, but end before the key line is spoken. This kind of editing is used when the story wants the audience to focus on emotion instead of facts. Another important detail is how silence is used. There are several moments where the background sound drops out completely. No music, no noise. Just breathing, footsteps, or a slow pause before a cut. Silence in trailers usually points to memory, fear, or something unspoken. It creates room for the audience to think, and that's exactly what this trailer wants. It wants viewers to question what they're seeing instead of trusting it. The show is clearly telling us that what we think the finale is about may not be the real story. The trailer also avoids showing clear winners or losers. No character is framed as fully in control. Every face looks tired, tense, or unsure. That's important because finals usually show power shifts. This one hides them. It suggests that the real shift hasn't happened yet or that it involves someone not shown directly. When a trailer feels this careful, it usually means one major piece is missing on purpose. Another detail many people missed is how the trailer uses mirrors, reflections, and shadows. These visuals appear more than once, and they always appear. During emotional moments, a reflection is not just a style choice. It often represents identity, memory, or the past returning. When a character looks at a reflection, they're usually facing something inside themselves, not just the situation around them. This tells us the finale is not only about survival, but about history catching up. The dialogue is also strangely incomplete. Lines are cut short or overlap with other scenes. Words like he, him, or you know what this means are used without showing who they refer to. This is classic misdirection. The trailer wants different viewers to fill in different answers. Some will think it's about an enemy. Others will think it's about betrayal. But the real meaning stays hidden because the speaker and the subject never fully match on screen. Pay attention to how the trailer avoids naming names in past trailers. Characters openly said who they were hunting or fighting. Here, that clarity is gone. Everyone speaks in coded language. That usually means the truth is too big to reveal early. It also means the finale will likely depend on one reveal that changes how earlier scenes are understood. When trailers hide names, they're protecting impact. The pacing of the trailer tells another story. Instead of building toward one big explosion, it moves in waves. Calm, tension, calm again. That rhythm feels emotional rather than violent. It suggests the finale will focus on choices, not just consequences. Characters look like they're deciding something heavy, something personal. This isn't just about winning territory or beating an enemy. It feels like people are being forced to face old decisions. The trailer also spends a lot of time on close-ups, eyes, hands, small movements. That's not normal for action-heavy marketing. Close-ups are used when inner conflict matters more than physical action. It hints that someone is carrying a secret, or that a choice made long ago is finally coming back into play. When shows do this, it's often because the past and present are about to collide. There's also a strange sense of restraint. We know this show can go big, but the trailer refuses to show its biggest moments. That tells us the real shock isn't visual. It's emotional. It's who shows up, who speaks, or who is revealed at the wrong time. this kind of trailer isn't trying to hype explosions. It's trying to protect a moment that will only work if the audience doesn't see it coming. Section for what makes this trailer truly different is how it feels unfinished on purpose. It doesn't give closure to any question it raises. Instead, it opens doors and walks away from them. That's risky unless the payoff is strong. This tells us the creators are confident that the finale itself will do the talking. They don't need to sell it with action because the story twist is strong enough. The final shots are especially important. They don't resolve tension, they freeze it. The expressions we see are not victory or defeat, but realization. That moment when a character understands something too late or finally sees the truth. Trailers often end with power. This one ends with awareness. That suggests the finale will hit hardest when someone realizes who really shaped everything. In the end, this trailer isn't hiding the ending, it's hiding the question. And when a story hides the question, it's because the answer changes everything we thought we knew. The trailer quietly builds the idea that the past is not finished, even if no one says it out loud. One of the strongest signals comes from how the story treats absence. Certain moments feel heavy, as if someone important should be there but isn't shown. The camera lingers on empty spaces, paused reactions, and expressions that suggest memory rather than present danger. This is a classic storytelling move used when a character's influence is still active, even if their body is not on screen. The show wants the audience to feel a presence without confirming it because confirmation would remove the tension too early. There are also visual choices that feel intentional rather than random. Dark hallways, half-lit rooms, and scenes framed from behind characters all create a sense that someone is watching or that something unseen is shaping events. These are not action visuals, they are psychological visuals. When a story uses shadows this often, it usually points to guilt, legacy, or unfinished business. It suggests that the choices made in the past are now controlling the present, whether the characters want that or not. Dialogue plays an even bigger role here. Several lines in the trailer sound personal instead of tactical. Characters are not just talking about moves or threats, but about trust, mistakes, and consequences. This kind of language usually appears when a character is being measured against someone who came before them. It feels like people are asking themselves if they are becoming someone else, or if they already have. That inner conflict does not come from a new enemy. It comes from an old shadow that never truly left. Another detail that stands out is how certain reactions feel delayed. A line is spoken, then the camera cuts to a face that looks shaken, almost reflective. That delay matters. It tells us the words hit deeper than the situation demands. It feels like a reminder, not a warning. When characters react this way, it usually means they are remembering something tied to their identity. The trailer uses these moments to quietly suggest that history is not just being remembered, it is being felt. The absence of clear confirmation is what makes all of this powerful. The trailer never tells the audience what to believe. Instead, it plants discomfort. It creates the sense that some stories never end cleanly and some people never truly disappear. By the time the trailer ends, the idea has already taken root, whether the past returns in flesh, voice, memory, or influence. It is clear that it still has power, and that power may be stronger than anything the present can offer. The trailer quietly shifts its weight toward a younger force stepping into a space that was never meant to be comfort. What makes this shift feel powerful is how natural it looks. There is no grand announcement, no dramatic entrance. Instead, the energy changes. The scenes feel sharper, more alert, as if the story itself is preparing for a mind that thinks faster and reacts colder. This is the kind of presence that doesn't need to be shown to be felt. The trailer frames this return as inevitable, not surprising, which makes it even more dangerous. One of the strongest signs comes from how strategy replaces emotion in key moments. Decisions in the trailer are made quickly, with little hesitation. There's less rage and more calculation. That kind of tone doesn't come from desperation, it comes from experience learned too early. It suggests someone who grew up watching mistakes being made and learned how to avoid them. The story seems to lean into that contrast, placing raw power on one side and sharp thinking on the other, setting the stage for a quiet but serious shift in control. The connection to the larger conflict feels deliberate. The trailer doesn't frame this presence as a side story or a cameo moment. Instead, it feels woven into the core problem. Every major threat suddenly feels more complex, as if someone has entered the game who understands how all the pieces move. This isn't about loyalty or family anymore. It's about leverage. And leverage only works when someone knows where the weak points are. The trailer strongly hints that those weak points are already known. What's also interesting is how trust becomes uncertain. Characters who once relied on instinct now seem cautious, almost guarded. That usually happens when someone arrives who can't be easily read. The energy suggests respect mixed with fear now. By the end of these moments, it becomes clear that this return is not about nostalgia or unfinished feelings. It's about evolution. The story seems ready to show what happens when someone raised in chaos learns how to control it. Not loudly, not emotionally, but patiently. And when patience meets power, the balance never stays the same for long. The trailer places Tommy in a position that feels heavier than any war he has faced before. This is not about territory or money anymore. It's about weight. Every look on his face carries the pressure of choices that never truly ended. The man we see is not rushing forward. He's standing still, listening, watching, thinking. That pause is important because Tommy has always been known for action first, not later. The fact that the trailer slows him down tells us something. Inside him is shifting. What stands out most is how isolated he feels, even when surrounded by people. The framing often places him alone in the shot, or slightly separated from others. This visual distance reflects an emotional one. Tommy is no longer just fighting enemies. He's wrestling with memory, loyalty, and the cost of survival. The trailer suggests that every move he makes now is influenced by what came before. Whether he admits it or not, the past is no longer behind him. It's standing beside him, asking for answers. There's also a clear sense that Tommy is being forced to choose between two paths. One path is familiar, violence, control, and pushing forward without looking back. The other is uncertain and uncomfortable, filled with reminders of who he used to be and who shaped him. The trailer doesn't show him choosing yet. Instead, it shows hesitation. That hesitation is powerful because it means the finale will not just test his strength, but his identity. He can't outrun this moment the way he has before. The dialogue around Tommy feels more personal than threatening. People aren't just challenging his power, they're questioning his direction. That kind of pressure doesn't come from rivals, it comes from consequences. The trailer frames him as someone who has survived everything except reflection. And now reflection is unavoidable. Every stare, every pause, every quiet moment suggests he's realizing that cutting ties never truly erased them. By placing Tommy at the center of this emotional crossroads, the trailer hints that the finale will reshape him, not by taking something away, but by forcing him to face what he's been carrying all along. The future he wants and the past he escaped are colliding, and for the first time. There may be no clean way out. The trailer places Tommy in a position that feels heavier than any war he has faced before. This is not about territory or money anymore. It's about weight. Every look on his face carries the pressure of choices that never truly ended. The man we see is not rushing forward. He's standing still, listening, watching, thinking. That pause is important because Tommy has always been known for action first, not later. The fact that the trailer slows him down tells us something inside him is shifting. What stands out most is how isolated he feels, even when surrounded by people. The framing often places him alone in the shot, or slightly separated from others. This visual distance reflects an emotional one. Tommy is no longer just fighting enemies. He's wrestling with memory, loyalty, and the cost of survival. The trailer suggests that every move he makes now is influenced by what came before. Whether he admits it or not, the past is no longer behind him. It's standing beside him, asking for answers. There's also a clear sense that Tommy is being forced to choose between two paths. One path is familiar, violence, control, and pushing forward without looking back. The other is uncertain and uncomfortable, filled with reminders of who he used to be and who shaped him. The trailer doesn't show him choosing yet. Instead, it shows hesitation. That hesitation is powerful because it means the finale will not just test his strength, but his identity. He can't outrun this moment the way he has before. The dialogue around Tommy feels more personal than threatening. People aren't just challenging his power, they're questioning his direction. That kind of pressure doesn't come from rivals, it comes from consequences. The trailer frames him as someone who has survived everything except reflection. And now reflection is unavoidable. Every stare, every pause, every quiet moment suggests he's realizing that cutting ties never truly erased them. By placing Tommy at the center of this emotional crossroads, the trailer hints that the finale will reshape him. Not by taking something away, but by forcing him to face what he's been carrying all along. The future he wants and the past he escaped are colliding, and for the first time. There may be no clean way out. The trailer is filled with small details that feel easy to ignore but are placed with purpose. These are not random shots added to fill time. Every quick cut, every blurred background, every line spoken off-screen feels designed to guide the audience away from the real surprise. This is where misdirection becomes the real story. The show has a long history of using trailers to tell one version of events while the truth moves quietly in another direction. What looks obvious is usually the least important part. One of the biggest clues comes from what the trailer refuses to show. Major confrontations are hinted at but never completed. We see moments right before impact, then the scene cuts away. This technique keeps viewers focused on expected outcomes while hiding the unexpected ones. When a trailer avoids showing the result of a big moment, it often means the result breaks the pattern fans are used to. The show doesn't want that reaction spoiled early, so it protects it with fast edits and incomplete scenes. Sound design also plays a key role in the misdirection. Certain lines of dialogue are clearly placed over scenes where they do not belong. A threatening line is spoken, but the face on screen doesn't match the tone. This creates false connections in the viewer's mind. People assume the words are aimed at what they're seeing, but later discover they were meant for someone else entirely. This trick has been used before to hide reveals and twist loyalties at the last moment. Another detail worth noticing is how some characters appear more than others without actually doing much. Repeated shots of the same faces create the illusion that they are central to the final's outcome, but overexposure can be a distraction when a trailer pushes one character too hard. It often means the real turning point involves someone else. The audience is being trained to watch the wrong person while the real move happens off to the side. There are also visual Easter eggs that only make sense in hindsight. Familiar locations, repeated colors, and similar camera angles echo moments from earlier chapters of the story. These callbacks are not just fan service. They quietly prepare the audience for history repeating itself in a new form. The show is reminding viewers of past turning points so that when a new one arrives, it feels connected rather than random. All of this points to one clear strategy. The trailer is not lying. But it is not telling the whole truth either. It is shaping expectations so the finale can break them. The real power of this episode will come from what the trailer hides, not what it shows. And when the final pieces fall into place, many of these small, forgettable moments will suddenly feel like warnings we didn't recognize at the time. The finale is not being framed as an ending. And that choice matters more than any single twist. Everything about the trailer suggests movement forward rather than closure. Loose threads are not tied up neatly. Instead, they are pulled tighter. This tells us the episode is designed to change direction, not stop the story. When a finale avoids finality, it usually means the world is getting bigger, not smaller. The decisions made here will echo beyond this chapter. What feels most intentional is how consequences are emphasized over outcomes. The trailer doesn't promise victory, it promises impact. Characters don't look relieved or satisfied. They look aware that whatever happens next cannot be undone. This kind of tone suggests the finale is about setting rules for what comes next, who holds power, who understands the cost of using it, and who is finally ready to step into a role they were always being shaped for. There's also a strong sense that timelines are aligning. Past actions, present conflicts, and future threats feel like they're being pulled into one moment. The trailer hints that things once thought separate are actually connected. That connection is what allows the story to expand when separate paths collide. New stories are born. The finale seems ready to do exactly that, merge legacies, choices, and consequences into a single turning point. Another important detail is how the idea of control is questioned. Characters who once believed they were in charge now appear uncertain. Control is no longer about force alone. It's about information, timing, and understanding the board before making a move. This shift signals a new era within the story, one where intelligence matters as much as muscle, and patience becomes the deadliest weapon of all. The trailer also suggests that the future won't be built on clean alliances. Trust feels fragile. Partnerships feel temporary. Everyone appears to be acting with one eye on the present and the other on what comes next. That kind of tension is perfect for expansion. It allows stories to branch out naturally without forcing separation. The finale doesn't close doors, it leaves them open just wide enough to invite chaos. In the end, what the finale is really setting up is a reshaped landscape. Power will not sit where it used to.